that even working? I don't even think it's working. I mean, we are low latency. Let me test this then. Okay, no, it's good. It's only 7-second delay or something like that. So, all right, you guys in chat, just let me know if this works here. And then if it's working, I'll end the stage, start the live trading event, so you guys will just rejoin, and we'll see if I make any money this morning. Time chat, let me know if that works. It's not very delayed. It's 7 seconds delayed. Very delayed will be like 30 seconds. That's what it used to be. All right, sweet. I'm going to end this event. We'll restart it, and then we'll see if I can make any money this morning. All right. Let me know if you guys can see my screen. Oh, look at that. Discord's working this week. That's off to a good start. All right, guys, give me 1 second. I'll be right back. All right, I am back. Good morning, all you YouTube people. We got some nice pivots overhead. So I am leaning bullish this morning for these pivots. That is a lot of supply in the way, though. So we'll see how we get through there. Okay, about that. Will I make any money this week? Well, statistically, the only bad day of the week, knock on wood, has been Fridays. The last 2 Fridays have been garbage, but market's gotten a little bit better. However, there's a lot of fundamentals this week. Crypto, silver dumped 30% on Friday. The market is going crazy because Trump is, well, part of the reason we had commodities run as hard as they did. That looks too bright. I guess not. Part of the reason we had commodities run as hard as they did is because Trump is very, very set on cutting interest rates all the way down. And Trump's obviously putting someone new in charge of the Fed. So Jay Powell, the legend, is out, and someone new will be in. So commodities are running on anticipation that Trump's going to put someone in that's likely to dump interest rates. However, Trump signals that he wants Warsh to lead the Fed, and he's a much more hawkish person than people thought. So the market is not pricing in rate cuts anymore. So that's what led to the massive correction. I believe it's this Friday that he makes a decision. So that's going to be really big. I'm leaning bullish this morning. There's a lot of supply in the way, though. Pretty bullish, but yeah, I don't know how many zones this is, but it's a lot of zones. Yeah, it's a good amount. That's a what the hell? That's a very bullish open on NQ. Yeah, it's just decided not to come with. I'm bullish for this supply to break on the Nasdaq. Don't even have my calls fully set up yet. Yeah, it looks like it's gonna break without me. I can't enter this early, unfortunately. I would love to though. QQQ calls look great. Yeah, it's gonna get there without me. What the heck is this? I'll be able to enter, but it'll have to be like a half size thing. Yeah, that's kind of what's happening. Did fill half. It's fairly risky, but I'm pretty small size. I'll add my second half if this pullback invalidates. I don't really like entering so close to market open, which is why pretty much will always go half size. But NQ is just so much stronger than ES, and I'm bullish for the supply to break here. So I did fill my second half personally because that pullback already invalidated. So let's see if it wants to break the supply or not. And ones to ES does not want to go up anymore. ES is not having a good time. That's a perfect double top on NQ. Okay, that broke. That's easy profits right there. Very solid trade. Very fast trade too. Now I'm bullish for ES to get to that pivot. Got 30% gains on that. I'm liking SPX calls. Still a lot of supply on that. Like a lot of supply on ES. Wasn't nearly as much on NQ. I don't mind SPX calls though. Look like it's flipping stronger. I just need NQ to get back within the selling wick. I'm kind of willing to give it a shot. You gotta stick to your rules, Londo. That's a dang good sell. That's a really good exit we just had on these Q calls. SPX calls look freaking awesome though. It did feel SPX calls half size, very small size on it. It's riskier than NQ, but we're invalidating this little red candle right here. The reason it's actually riskier than the NQ trade is because more supply and NQ has a bearish sweep. That's a lot of strength on yes, but definitely a riskier trade. So I'm pretty light and I'll average up if NQ can invalidate. Well, that looks okay on NQ. That actually doesn't look bad at all. That looks great. See if I can get my ES pivot. 69.66 is the PT there. I am a little bit heavier on this. I have to close that last candle. ES is indeed being stronger. NQ should I need NQ to get high up day. Got it. That is two good sized wins in a row right there, folks. If you left runners open on the Nasdaq, that's freaking going to. Maybe the free curse is lifted. That's what I'm thinking. For all you guys in the Discord, type in chat. Is that what you guys are thinking as well? That is what I'm thinking. The one time I don't tell you, you win. Well, I won every single day last week except Friday, so you must have not told me any of those days. It's not bad. That is not bad right there. NQ is going to go to my second pivot. It looks like we're going to get second pivots here. Yeah. Pre-market analysis played out flawlessly. Could not have been better. It was so awesome. If we can pull back and consolidate right before this pivot, I would re-add. But now I'm just stuck with teeny tiny runner positions, just so if it goes to 1,000,000%, the alert's still open, so I can technically make my channel look freaking fantastic. But in reality, my positions are I'm pretty much all out. That's the reality. QQQ runners got or sellable at 123. My average was 69 cents for 78% gains on the Q calls. And SPX runner only have one of those. Got 59% gains. Q calls look good again here. It's SPX. That looks better than Nasdaq. Looks like I may re-add those. Re-add a further strike though. 69.80 calls most likely. Yeah, it'll be 69. 69.80. Or maybe not. Maybe it'll be Q. Maybe I don't re-add at all. That's fine. Mm. Kind of looks like the Q. I don't know. They're pretty close to even. They're pretty close to even. I'm kind of feeling the Q calls a little bit more. Except they're chopping a decent bit. All right, if this candle starts flipping green, I'm in. It looks like a bull flag right now, but this candle needs to invalidate. That looks pretty solid right there. Not gonna lie. And SPX looks good as well. Did take a little bit of SPX calls as well. Let's see if this. See, this is why I have to be light. See how bad the risk to reward is. It looks like NQ is gonna. get its pivot. I need ES to get its next pivot, 69.77. Not a fan of the selling wick it's trying to put in though. Really, the PT would be here, but I may actually, yeah, barely missed it, so I may have to add to this. Yeah, if we pull back, I'm gonna have to add. This SPX called are chopping pretty good. It's a good thing I got okay fill. Yeah, actually wasn't that good. This wasn't horrendous. Alright, NQ should be going for the... Should try to go for the supply break now, knock on wood. Don't know how much above it it's gonna go, though. ES might try to hornswoggle me and barely miss. And my PT right here, 69.77. NQ looks like it doesn't want to go up anymore. Yeah, still stronger than NQ. NQ calls are chopping to hell, though. NQ calls are not happy right now. They're not happy at all. No, they're not going anywhere. SPX a tad better. Didn't really make any money on NQ hitting my PT, unfortunately. It's chopping way too hard. Didn't even get anywhere near the high of day. ES is chopping pretty hard as well. Not near, no, well, yeah, it's chopping pretty hard. It's chopping very hard actually. This option start's not going up at all. But NQ's option start's going down. Which is not what I want to see. Yeah, NQ wants to go down. NQ does not want to go up anymore. Forgot what's the econ calendar look like today. Let me see. We had PMI 1 minute ago, I guess. I don't know where that was. And we have ISM manufacturing in 14 minutes. There's the NQPT and the ESPT. He keeps barely missing my fill though, which is pretty annoying. He does not want to go anywhere near it. Didn't really make much on SPX either. That's 16% only on SPX, which is freaking lame. And all right, well, both hit my PTs flawlessly. I'm still hoping that NQ can get to the next supply, but I am out. I have a little bit of Nasdaq left because it just won't freaking fill me. Keeps missing my fill. I'm going for like trying to get the worst fill ever, and it still doesn't want to do it. I'm out of SPX though. We might start squeezing now. That's surprising that we just invalidated that bearish sweep candle. That's fairly surprising. What did I fill those at? Yeah. Right, well, my call's finally filled. I want to hold for more because my gains were so. I got 16% and a whopping 9%, but I just can't. First off, it was already a small position. I was in both SPX and QQQ. Um, but I can't hold because it's just chopping too bad. But I mean, that is 4 green trades in a row this morning, so what can you do, right? And it just doesn't really matter about my alerts, but more so just the pre-market analysis. Like bullish, here are the pivots. If it starts heading to those pivots, I will be in calls, and that played out. So looks like NQ is going to get to this next supplies, which is what I wanted. Looks like it's squeezing now though, so if you're holding runners, you're doing much better. Yeah, I'm bullish for 796. Looks great, the 796. Man, if this squeeze happened a little bit sooner, I would have held my full positions to this level. Yep, there it is. That's freaking beautiful. Next PT on ES, which is probably going to get, is 6991.25. But honestly, I'm bullish for 69.95 as well. That is nuts. Oh, I did really damn good this morning. This morning's a really bright green morning, and I could have made so much more money. Could have made a lot more money. Yeah, those QQQ calls just got 84% gains, and the SPX calls got, let me see, 92% gains. It's insane. Every single alert went freaking nuts. I don't even know what the full first calls went to. That's pretty cool. Type in chat if you guys. There's not as much people in the YouTube because I'm actually last time I did the free week, I still did it in the premium stage. So everyone that was free was on Discord. Sorry, on YouTube. But now I'm doing it in free stage, so most people are actually in the Discord. But type in chat. How do you guys do this morning? You guys green, red, so on and so forth. Oh, Tommy's in here. Tommy, you've been wanting alerts, dude. We did nothing but take longs. Do not tell me you're red. Do not tell me you're red, Tommy. Don't you do it. Longs were a chase. See, guys, by the way, this is why this guy was never allowed to watch us trade. So, Tommy, let me guess. Did you go short? And did you lose all your accounts again? It's a nice job, Brandon Sharkey. Yeah, that is awesome. I don't know why I'm in the streamer mode, though. I need to turn that off. See. Appearance. How do you turn off the streamer mode again? Oh, wait, there we go. Enable streamer mode off. There we go. All right, well, everyone's green except Tommy, but you know what? No surprises. No surprises. Just send this announcement out to everyone. I'm not going to send a picture of my alerts. I'm just going to send the pre-market analysis because that's pretty much where the magic happened is that pre-market analysis. I don't really care about that, actually. Now you can see that analysis themselves. Got vengeance. Okay, nice job, Brian. How were you supposed to long something that I got up in a straight line for 8 hours? Tommy, if something goes straight up for 8 hours, even though it was more like 20 minutes. By the way, Tommy, what do you feel about us selling near the top? Or at least it perfectly rejected my pivot. I didn't hold to this point. Um, Tommy, when the market's bullish, why aren't you bullish? Are you like just gonna be Thanos and just magically control the market with your gauntlet? You make no sense, dude. Those I don't know on YouTube, Tommy's the worst trader in existence. We try to change it, but he doesn't want to change for some reason. To him, if you enter calls on a green candle, it's a chase. So you set up that. No, of course he's not gonna set up that review with me because he's scared. He doesn't act. Tommy doesn't actually want to make any money. If he did, he would hop in. I offered him, Tommy, I will hop in stage with you and review your strategy and help you build something that works. And this guy's too freaking scared to do it. And that is the wrong Tommy. Yeah, don't worry about the Tommy with the car in his profile picture. His name is actually Two Tone Tony. The reason his name is Two Tone Tony instead of Two Tone Tommy is because he was kicked out of the server. When he rejoined, he thought switching his name from Two Tone Tommy to Two Tone Tony would make people not recognize him, so he can slide under the radar. Oh boy. So it's Tony. Bouncy Bear, it's Tony. But his real name's Tommy. Alright, he left. Good. So yeah. You guys will see him in chat all the time saying, Bryce, please just give me alerts, please. And then he shows up and does the opposite for all three trades and blow all of his accounts. So awesome. What a legend. He could be the best trader, but he doesn't want to. Yeah. He'll never learn. No, he will not. No. You guys in YouTube, most of you guys in YouTube have no idea who I'm even talking about, but it is the one of the most severe cases of a trading mental illness I've ever seen in my life. Like, he is the only person that I've openly said I have no chance of fixing him. He needs Jesus Christ himself to fix him because that's how bad it is. You guys have no idea how bad it is for a few years now. Anyways, that was pretty good. I can't trade futures in for 30 minutes. The last 2 days on futures were bright green, but be advised, every time we do this free trading stuff, it goes pretty bad futures. So we will find out if that curse is still going. But as far as options, I'm very happy with how we performed today. Solid risk management. Most people were able, pretty much everyone had the opportunity to catch a piece of the uptrend. It was a very nice day. And we do have ISM manufacturing coming out in 20 seconds. But yeah, if you guys want to stop trading here and lock it in, be my guest. I have to find out how futures goes. And by the way, okay, type in chat, all you guys in the free stage, how many of you guys have received a DM from our newsletter? Because I think it's still got to send for 5 more hours. It sends really slow to 23,000 people, like really slow. It takes 15 hours to send because Discord banned us last night. We had to resend it. Riker, not me. Bree, you did? Who else received a DM from our newsletter? I did. Yeah, Yeshwan. So you were one of the. It only sent to 2,000 people last night, and then the Discord banned it. So we had to resend it. That's why. So most people didn't get it. So, anyways, we are gonna start a newsletter. I paid a few $100 for a bunch of different newsletters to kind of compile information and totally not plagiarize. But so weekends, we'll be sending a big weekend newsletter like that. It'll cover the earnings coming up this week, the economic calendar, the what happened last week, and what to look for this week for market movers. So it is a more sizable newsletter. And then just to premium members, and I would do everyone, but just to premium members because I can't afford to wait 15 hours for the DM to get sent to everyone. Every single morning, we'll send a small newsletter, just kind of overnight news, just that kind of stuff. Just a small newsletter every single market open to the premium people. That way, you guys don't forget about the econ calendar. You guys are still plugged into the fundamentals, like what's kind of happening in the market. Just a general overview. Not really any stock picks. I don't like newsletters that give stock picks. I don't like any alerts whatsoever. Stock picks are worthless to me for the most part, unless it's Liam. Because it's like, if someone says they're bullish on Palantir and you buy it, where the hell are you going to stop out? Because your whole reason for entering was someone else told you to. Unless that source gives you a stop loss, good luck stopping out of that with good psychology. So it's not really stock picks or anything, but yeah, the Aurora Trading newsletter will end up being a big thing. There's no ads, like I'm not going to use it for ads. The Path to Success also has a mass DM feature. That'll be used a little bit more for advertisement, but no more than once a week. So like smaller stuff, sharing member testimonials, tips, things that work with your trading, psychology lessons, stuff like that. So it'll still be fairly utility, but there'll be some mild advertisement. By the way, this is fairly bullish. Let's see if ES looks like it wants to get a new high of day. Let's see if it breaks high of day and gets my next pivots up here. And my yellow lines are the pivots for all you new people. Those are my price targets. But that'll be rare. The newsletter is pure utility. You guys will never see ads in it or anything like that. It is pure utility. I really like how it has the economic calendar. And the economic calendar source is Market Watch. Sometimes Market Watch doesn't always have everything. Okay. Sometimes it doesn't always have everything. But the trading economics calendar and Bloomberg's calendar is like way packed. Like there's just so much. Market Watch does a pretty good job of just kind of simplifying, okay, here are the major things. And it's pretty rare. I'd say once every 5 weeks it's missing something. So for the most part, it's got everything. And yeah, it looks like we're getting a new update here. So that's a little garbage. Yeah, Papa. Yeah, I'm not only on YouTube. Discord's a bit better quality, but the YouTube's functional. You know, it's only 7 second delay, and people on other servers are able to at least watch me. And it's not really optimal for following trades, but it's pretty decent at knowing why I enter what I do and how I manage losses and all that jazz. Where can I sign up? There's no sign up necessary, William. You'll receive a DM within the next few hours. It takes 15 hours to send to every single person in the server. Um, so you'll send a DM, and then it'll automatically send the smaller newsletters for every premium member. But we'll turn it into some pretty big thing. I think newsletter, especially for premium members, because there's a lot less premium members than 22,000 people. We're gonna be able to send a lot more information, a lot more stuff, and it won't be spammy, but it'll be nice. A nice job, Papa. Looks pretty good for the next ESPTs. Too bad I'm not in. Vickers going for it. Good luck to you. Now I'm not just looking for 6991.25 on ES. If it gets at 69.95 is pretty likely. If we go back, here are the pivots. This pivot's pretty small. This isn't really a big deal at all, to be honest. I don't know why it spiked like this. So this 6991.25 isn't really a major pivot. The 69.95, that is a bigger one. And then on NQ, the next one is here. This one is a bit more major. But up here, if we keep going up, this is my futures price target. 25,940 on NQ. There is a really nice liquidity cluster here that price action should want to target if we just keep going up all morning. I have no idea why we're going up, though. I should probably figure that out, right? Let's see. I paid all that money for my fancy Bloomberg subscription. Let's see if they know why the market's going up. Yes, hit the first pivot. It's not really a pivot though. The 69.95 is an actual pivot. All right, markets wrap. Stock buyers emerge as gold sell-off cools down. This was just sent out 3 minutes ago. Ooh, Palantir's earnings today. That's a big deal. It looks like ES should get that. Yeah, nothing huge. It's just unwinding from yesterday. I mean, Friday's craziness. Nice job, Riker. Congrats on the green trade, dude. Keep in mind, for those of you that stick around for my futures trading, it is much more mechanical. I don't choose whether I get in or out, right? I have to either figure out if my strategy triggers me in and out and I get in. Options is much more discretionary. So I do not have freedom. So I'll get into trades that I don't really want to get into. My win rate is not as good as my options win rate, unfortunately, but it's a lot more mechanical. So my psych is a lot better with futures. Yo, Bryce, I used to be in that place and recently got back into Discord for trading. What the hell happened with everything? Is this the new? I was never that. That was never my server. I am Brat. I've had this server since January of 2021. Now I alerted in that server, but most of the, then again, my bot, I haven't pushed my bot in many servers over the years. I've never really cared. Uh, Places that I alert in, they kind of just ask me to join them, and I do. But no, that was never my server, so it just probably looks like it died off or something. But 5 years, 6 years later, we're still kicking. Still kicking and actually better than ever, believe it or not. I'm great. If you do, again, the point of this YouTube isn't to advertise or anything like that. It's primarily for utility this first week of live trading. However, if you do decide to go premium, let me know, and you'll have a completely free of charge success manager assigned to you, and their job is to push you through the path to success, which is our massive. It's our entire education system pretty much. Um, their job is to push you through that and make sure you get the best return on your investment possible. So I pay them if you find success within the next 6 months and get to the elite trader role. So that's how that works. That's completely free of charge as well. So let us know if you end up making that decision. What's your strat for futures? Okay, so my strat for futures, San dash E4D3B. It's an awesome name, dude. Okay, so the way I trade the market open is probability analysis. So I just look at the chart and mentally count the reasons why I'm bullish, count the reasons why I'm bearish, and if I have a lot more bullish reasons than bearish, I enter calls, right? And vice versa. If I have a lot more reasons to enter puts, then calls and I enter puts, right? That's pretty much the way I operate. And I'm a volatility and momentum based trader. I do take reversals as well. I take a little bit of everything. But that's pretty much the main thing. So I'll lose when the odds, the higher probability event, according to my hypothesis, does not play out. ES perfect double top to 69.95. That needs to break. And then my next pivot here on NQ is 25.860. Still pretty bullish. Now my futures is a much more mechanicalized version of that. See, I don't average down. I don't enter half size. Every time I enter, one price target, one stop loss, very mechanical. Every single one of my bias builders, whether it's liquidity sweeps, liquidity momentum, pattern, trend, volume, supply, demand, strong, weak, perfect top, perfect bottom, perfect trend line. There's a bunch of them. All of my bias builders are mechanically defined, and I have to enter if I have two more good keywords than bad keywords. I have to enter. And because I'm taking one entry, not averaging down or anything like that, my win rate isn't inflated. And, it's been averaging, this month it's been averaging a terrible win rate, like a whopping 35 or 40%. And I'm actually green on the month, though, just flipped green. Thursday. And Friday was also nice. There's PT on ES. NQ is about to hit my next pivot. Operation Do Not FOMO today. I feel like the last 3 days have been Operation Do Not FOMO. Not so much. Yeah, Friday too with the dropping. But it's been Operation FOMO a lot lately, or do not FOMO. Don't appreciate the temptation. NQ just hit that pivot. Next one is this supply break on ES, 7,000 and 2.5. And I am bullish for it to get there. I hope it doesn't get there so I can have a chance of trading something. And my futures trading is mechanical, so I only trade the second and third hour. So from 10:30 Eastern to 12:30 Eastern. And yeah, I just have to get in if I get two more good reasons and bad reasons. I average a 55 to 60% win rate on, I think my profit factor is like 1.4 or something. My average risk to reward, I'd say, is like 1.25 or 1.3. So it's definitely profitable, but I'm still evolving it, still developing it, and so on and so forth. How do you play your supply breaks? I don't trade supply breaks. I anticipate supply breaks, Riker. So I'll trade to a supply break. Because, I mean, look at this chart on ES right here. Let's just freeze this chart. ES is on my left, right? So this chart right here. Okay, so what are the reasons why this should go up? What are the reasons why it should go down? Well, reason it should go up is the trend, right? Don't look at NQ at all. I'm not going to do NQ. And by the way, why is this so much smaller? All right. Reason why it should go up is trend. Reason why it should go down, supply. Now, how strong is the supply? It's only a 30-minute supply. It is the weakest zone. Okay, what's at the top of the supply? Okay, it is a very major pivot, right? A very major pivot, very weak supply. I'm bullish for this supply to break because this trend and everything that makes us bullish, the trend and the strength is a lot stronger than this supply. Now, I wouldn't be able to enter this on futures because I can't actually articulate. I would need 3 reasons under this check mark and only 1 under this X. I can't articulate that because I don't have them. But this reason is a hell of a lot stronger than this tiny supply. That's why I'm bullish for the supply to break. And during options, I have more flexibility because I can enter with small size at the beginning and average down, so on and so forth. I can bend a lot to capture all that. So, yeah. So based on, okay, at the top of supply, does it have a very major pivot that price action would want to chase? Because price action chases liquidity, and at the top of pivots is liquidity. Yes, there's still some in supply, but you got to take into context the strength of the supply, how many supply zones there are, and what's at the top of it. This is a pretty damn big pivot right here. Because the supply is weak, I'm bullish for this pivot to sweep, which means supply would break. So, hopefully that makes sense. What's up, okay? Grat says, sweet, back in like 2022 when I was in that place, I mostly followed your bot unknowingly. That's how it's, yeah. Yeah, but keep in mind, Grat, we we have analysts, we have alerts, but it's not, no one follows them, right? Very few people in premium actually just follow my trades. They more so just use me as confirmation for their own trades. We specialize in building careers here. We don't like raising traders to be blind sheep that need to be breastfed every morning, and they're just unproductive human beings without an analyst spoon feeding them alerts. That's not what we do here. Pretty much nearly every single one of our active premium folks, they have their own strategy that they're developing. They have developed their own psychological skills, which will lay the foundation for their career. And that's also the reason why I think 30% of all active members in this server are profitable, 20 to 30%, and a lot more on the verge. Like most people are on the verge that ended up doing the mentorship last year, and I still talk to them every week. The goal is by the end of this year, 50% of all of our active members. So 70 people in here in voice, 35 of those people, 30 to 35 people of those people will be profitable at least for the last few months, which means they made more money than they spent. That doesn't mean they're rich, but they made more money from the market than they spent, which pretty much no one can do. So that's kind of the purpose behind here. So if you actually are interested in building a career here, or not here, but building a career in this industry and not just being reliant on some alerts from some analysts that may or may not work, that's what happens here. Sand says, I feel like after an hour of market open, Market Loki dies. That is true. And if it were possible, I would love to trade options and futures during the first hour, Sam. I would love that. Unfortunately, it's just frankly impossible for me. I lose so much money. It's impossible. I've tried multiple times. It never goes well. So I've been the second and third hour is much harder to trade, but my strategy is profitable over the, I don't know, 9 months that I have back tested for it. It is profitable for the second and third hour, and it's continuing to get better. That doesn't mean it's going to win today or this week, but it's continuing to evolve because I make sure it'll do so. But ideally, if I can make an extra large chunk of income by trading just a couple more hours a day and refining a mechanicalized probability analysis strategy that'll work forever, that's fine by me. So that's my goal. But this month has been trash. And you know what? We have a lot of fundamentals this week, but the Supreme Court garbage that I blame for my month being fairly trash. Options was okay. The first 2 weeks were terrible. Futures was pretty much all bad until Thursday of last week. NQ is so bullish. We're going to get to my PT. We're going to get to 25,940 on NQ. This thing is an elevator up. Jeez. I'm hoping that I can consolidate for like 10 minutes so I'd be able to enter, but I don't think I'm going to be able to. Because if we get bullish consolidation, I'll have trend strong because it is stronger than ES and bullish consolidation. There's ES getting my next pivot. And today it is really Operation Do Not FOMO. And I know Tommy, dude. Folks, type in chat. How many accounts do you think Tommy's running through today? What do you guys think? 10, 15. I'm getting a lot of people around the 15 range. Yeah, I think so too. I mean, considering he shorts almost every green candle, yeah. But anyways, yeah, if we bullishly consolidate, then I'd have, well, actually 3-2 because it's continuation on a pivot on ES, so I can't do it. Don't feel for him, Sam. You did not used to be Tommy, I promise. You being unprofitable and a degenerate does not make you Tommy. Tommy's an individual that sold his car to buy evaluation accounts and lost all of it. Sold his phone to buy evaluation accounts, lost all of it. Couldn't pay rent anymore because he was too busy gambling on evaluation accounts. Got his electricity shut off and then was evicted. Like, you don't understand. He's pulled out every single credit card that he possibly could, including a Venmo credit card. Maxed every single one of those credit cards out to buy more evaluation accounts and lost them. And he finally, by the grace of God and because Connor and Ryan were assigned to him as success managers because I made some competition, whoever can help Tommy get his first payout. Keep in mind, he's been doing this for 3 or 4 years, so it's been a while. Gets $1,000. Well, Connor and Ryan did it. He got a $5,000 payout. Within 2 weeks, he lost all the money from the payout on buying funded accounts. And this isn't options where you just lose thousands in a day. It's like you have to spend $30, lose the account, spend another $30, lose the account. Do that 20 times a day. Like it's freaking nuts. And he is more dedicated to trading than he's ever been. That's the inspiring part. Riker, if you ask Tommy if he has a job, someone type in chat what he'll say to Riker in response. I'll save you guys the effort. If you tell Tommy, you need to get a job, because he doesn't have a job outside of trading. He's like, I have a job. I'm a professional trader. Like, you guys don't understand. For you new people, you guys don't understand the level of delusion. Like, it's actually, like, he's genuinely mentally sick. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, bipolar with a mix of manic episodes. It's kind of nuts. How old is he? I think 24, 25, something like that. Yes, but he says I'm a professional full-time day trader. It's awesome, man. Are we consolidating? A little bit on NQ. This is a baby bull pennant. Why'd he leave? He left loan because we were all making money and he didn't want to go long. He only wanted to go short, even though he's been begging me to give him trades. Yeah, that is true on the bright side. If Tommy can get a payout, anyone can. Yep. You can't fix stupid. I just went short. Zero fake. Oof. Yeah, NQ. Hopefully it wasn't on NQ because NQ's stronger than ES and it's bullishly consolidating. Why doesn't he just copy your signals and every... San, you don't understand, dude. It's bad. He doesn't copy anyone. And if he does copy us and lose, he'll say, he never calls me Bryce, he calls me Bruce. Okay. He never calls anyone by their real name. So he says, Bruce, you bagged me. I lost all my money because of you. I will have my revenge, is the kind of stuff he'll say in chat. Um, unironically, that he'd say that. And then any green day, here's the thing. If I ever enter long on a green candle, he won't follow and he'll ridicule us for chasing the market. Even if it's one or two green candles during a downtrend. That's what he does. So now it's yeah. It's funny though. I have a freaking Tommy makes my day. If he would just grow a pair of balls and hop in voice with me, I'd be able to help him. But God forbid that dude do anything productive. Correct. Correct. They were never actually in that server. Actually, Moneybags. That was Moneybags server, but all those bots in there, yeah, were just people's bots. They weren't actually like typing in that server and whatnot. Riker says we need the cabin trading getaway. It'll happen sometime. Look in chat. Look what Tommy has said. I told you guys. Connor pinged him and said, Tommy, what is your full-time job? And Tom, oh, I deleted it. Oh, wait, never mind. It just disappeared for some reason. He says, I'm a full-time trader. You know that. I hope he actually makes it. One can only hope. I hope he goes to church more than anything. All right, I can start futures trading in 4 minutes. And it's looking like we are potentially bullishly consolidating, but I cannot have a... Actually, folks, I hate to break it to you, but I may have to enter a reversal trade. I'm hoping we can break out, make a higher high. This is bullish consolidation on NQ. I am bullish, but I have a bearish liquidity sweep on ES and supply. So right now it's only 3-2. And if NQ breaks to the downside from this bullish consolidation, then it'll actually be a reversal trade if ES is still weak, because I'll have liquidity sweep, weak, and NQ supply going against the trend, which is an example of a trade that I would not want to take, but would have to take anyways because of my strategy. Let me get my journal real quick and start that up. That is a bearish liquidity sweep. That is a bearish liquidity sweep of that pivot. Yes. And that is true, TCG. Tommy did send and proved. He did send 4 pages of trade top step receipts of all the money he sent. I wish I can send screenshots in the YouTube chat. That'd be awesome if I could. Are you entering? No, I cannot enter. I have 1 minute until I can trade futures. And I'm kind of triggered in now. The problem is, though, ES isn't necessarily weak anymore. They're pretty even, actually. Would I have to enter? I'm kind of thinking that I will have to enter. I do not want to enter this trade, though. I think it's going to lose. But yeah, see how NQ's weaker now than ES? This is now pretty much a trade that I have to enter. It's only been weaker for 2 candles, though. But honestly, it would just be to the 23.6 fib. And it would have a 1-to-1. 1.1 risk to reward. That would pretty much be the trade that I'd have to enter. So I'm hoping that we reverse back up now. No, maybe not. Let's see how this candle closes. NQ is indeed weaker. All right, well, I do have to enter, unfortunately. Not a very happy camper about it. So I do think this trade will lose. Yeah, it's a bullish candle right there, though. I would not recommend entering until that green candle validates. Because I can actually flip stronger, though. That looks bullish. It looks like NQ wants to get back to high of day. This isn't really turning into bullish consolidation, though, so I won't be able to enter long. I'm not able to enter longs really anytime soon because we have that bearish liquidity sweep on ES and we have supply, so I would need 4 reasons. And we do not have a bullish liquidity sweep down here. So right now it's just trend and then maybe strong. It's 2-2, even if I add bullish consolidation, which it's not right now. That does not work. We're right back, guys. Well, NQ's definitely weak again, but with this bounce, it looks like ES is trying to put in bullish consolidation. It would look really good if ES came all the way back up near high of day, missed it by a little bit, and then did something like this. Got another oscillation. Because that'd be two oscillations, and that would be bullish consolidation. So I'll be bullish for it to get to supply at that point. I'm not really bearish on NQ either, so I think there's a strong possibility of that happening. Oh, I'm gonna hang out on my phone for a bit till something interesting happens. There's nothing I can do right now. I'm expecting this short that I kind of had to enter stop out, but it's a super gray area trade. I'll have to review it because I think there's a decent chance that I could have gotten away with not entering it. The only thing is it did flip weak on these last two candles. And that is technically 3-1, but I'm starting to kind of test applying a little bit more discretion to my strategy because it's a little bit too mechanical, is what I've been kind of gathering from my data. Let's see if ES gets new high of day. Bryce, can you check the email? Yeah. Give me 1 second. Yes, you do. Use staged, slicked. That actually looks pretty bullish on NQ. I'm expecting a short squeeze here. ES is still strong going for high of day, and NQ did not get low at all. NQ hasn't even validated half of that big green candle. I was confident of NQ getting to 25,940 though, because it is a lot weaker than ES. Maybe that'll change. Looks like it's starting to squeeze now. How do you come to that conclusion? Lots of data and live testing. Rasputin. Lots of data and live testing, but again, it's not done yet. Like this trade right here, it's pretty gray area. I could have not entered it based on my newest evolution of the strategy. So, but yeah, a lot of data, a lot of like analytical work. This looks great for new IVE day here. Not going to be able to. The only way I'm going to be able to take longs is if NQ bullishly consolidates and ES gets above this pivot and does this. So I can miss this keyword and then I can take ES long up to this next point. That's the only way I'm going to be able to do that. Doesn't look like I'm getting any bullish consolidation, unfortunately. Unless NQ just rejects right here. This might be turning into bullish consolidation here. Might actually work. It's still definitely continuation on a pivot. Only place I'm able to enter is like up here, and I'm not super sure that'll happen. Depending on how it does get up there, that can be a potential rising wedge, which I still wouldn't be able to enter long for. I'm hoping we go back up, because if we don't go back up, that means the free curse, at least for futures, is still alive, because that perfectly swept my stop loss on that short. Like he is maybe trying to put in a head and shoulders. Let's see if NQ invalidates this little drop here. It is bullish consolidation. I'll just have to see if ES is still on that pivot or not. I hang out on my phone until that happens. See you later, I'm Grant. Been a pleasure, dude. Well, see, I don't know if I'm able to enter these longs because now this is turning into a kind of a head and shoulders on ES, and that's a problem. But ES is definitely stronger than NQ, so if NQ comes back up and invalidates this drop, I may be in business here. But I mean, ideally, it would be nice if ES did something like this. If it did something like that, that would invalidate the head and shoulders, and that would work for me. I would not touch them, John. I wouldn't do it. That's just way more complicated than a futures prop firm. I would not go anywhere near an options prop firm. All right, here's NQ sweeping a lower low. I do hope it goes back up because if it doesn't, that means I just got my stop loss perfectly swept, which is a very unlucky way to start this week, at least as far as futures trading goes. It looks like NQ's trying to invalidate the bullish consolidation, which means I just got my stop loss on my short trade perfectly swept, and now we're coming all the way back down to PT. Now my PT was all the way down here though, so we'll see if it actually gets there. It's not too late for it to be a bull flag, but the more it drops, the less likely that is to happen. It did. It did, Swaggy. Yeah. But it'll be a good, again, I don't, I'm working on my strategy a couple hours a day every single day. Literally a couple hours a day every day. Um, this is my stop loss here. So there is, I mean, technically at this point, there was a liquidity sweep, obviously. NQ was in supply. And NQ did flip weak on this candle, but I think I've been a little bit too trigger happy with the strength and weak keywords because it did flip weak on this candle here. Yes, was weaker for. This candle NQ was a bit weaker on, but it's not at super defined. It's not super defined. NQ was a lot weaker at the start of this candle than ES was, but they end up closing around the same. So that trade was avoidable in my opinion, which makes it harder to have perfect psychology moving forward because that wasn't a necessary loss, but you got to do it because that's the only way your data is going to be meaningful. That's a pretty bullish volume spike NQ just put in. Unfortunately, though, oh no. Don't tell me. It's perfect double bottom. ES has a perfect double bottom. So I am bearish for this to break. Bearish for 69.92.5 to break on ES. Don't think there's any way I'm going to be able to trade it though. Definitely not going to be able to go long no matter what. Even if we do something like this and start coming down a little bit, I can gamble on a short right here because technically I'd be allowed, but I don't really think I'll be able to because, I mean, right here I would have perfect double bottom, head and shoulders, supply on NQ, maybe one is weaker. And I'm going against, well, maybe I can do liquidity sweep too, but I don't, no, not really. Because this did kind of get over it. This isn't really a pivot to me. So head and shoulders, perfect bottom, supply. Maybe weak for a fourth, going against bullish consolidation on NQ and trend. Looks like NQ's flipping stronger though. No, Tommy. I ain't hornswoggle you. Hornswoggled yourself. Hankey's still a little bit weaker than he is, but not much. Gosh dang it, guys. Technically, I could go short on NQ. Technically, I could. The keywords would align, but this is the mechanical discretion thing I've been figuring out, right? But technically, I can. And then PT would just be this perfect double bottom break on ES. Because, yeah, technically NQ is weaker than ES, and technically we do have potential head and shoulders on ES as well. Technically, I'm able to. I don't really want to, though. It's not really a trade I want to lose on, but it's a trade I want to win on. So gray area. So gray area. Because, yeah, it is technically 4 to 2. Looks like it's going to hit. But then again, like this NQPT, it'll probably be like somewhere up here. It'll be like somewhere up here. Now, if ES can go back up again and then start coming down, then I'll take the trade. Then it'll be chopping up, and I'm willing to take that risk. It looks like it might happen without me. Looks like it's gonna happen without me. Well, that could have been a green trade for you guys to take. Was too gray area there, and I couldn't pull the trigger by the close of the 8:54 my time candle. I have not taken a trade like that at all to my recent memory, so it was too gray area. Perfect double bottoms continue to strike though. Continue to play out beautifully, and there it is. So that's a decent win if you took it. And that first short, it is looking like my stop loss did perfectly sweep, and my PT was right here. Looks like it's gonna be heading down to that. Unfortunate. I don't have any more trades that I can enter right now, though. It would have been pretty nice to get into that short, but that was like an impossible decision for me to make in that 15-second window. This would be bearish consolidation forming on NQ, but it did just make a lower low. I think there's still a pretty decent chance it'll get to that nearest fib. And if we do come back up, it's not really looking like I can take the long. Well, it depends. Do I count this as a bullish liquidity sweep? Probably not. But if ES comes back up to here, that is continuation on the pivot. But it looks like NQ is going to get to my initial short PT, which means my stop loss perfectly swept, which is very unfortunate. Yep, looks like it perfectly swept. The free curse is very much alive. Here's my trade. It was something like this, though. It's like a 1-to-1. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. So awesome. It's a pretty bullish bounce off that fib, though. That looks pretty good. The way it kind of chopped down to this fib level, I think there's a pretty decent chance it bounces from here. We'll see. I'm not going to be able to get it anytime soon. I have no trade that I can take. It's not really bullish consolidation anymore. Yeah, I really don't know what trade I'm going to be able to take next. I would like to take longs for high of day, but don't think that's going to work. I mean, if NQ were a lot stronger than ES, and I got liquidity momentum on it, and maybe I can technically take a big long trade to here. But ES would have to be like right here, so it's not continuation on the pivot. I still don't even know if that would work because this isn't really bullish consolidation anymore. It's been this way for an hour. So this isn't bullish consolidation anymore, really. Be strong liquidity momentum going against supply. Yeah, I don't really see any way I can take it unless there's like a 5% chance this happens. But the only way I can see is if NQ puts in an inverse head and shoulders like this, and ES is not on this level. Because if ES is on this yellow line, I can't enter. Or around this yellow line, I can't enter. So I need it either a decent amount above or a decent amount below. So it's not looking like I'm going to be able to enter a trade anytime soon. If NQ bearishly consolidates here, I can enter with one of them being weaker. Other than that, I have nothing. So I'm going to hang out on my phone for a while. It's probably going to be quiet for a bit. Oh, that short trade PT would have been flawless. That's a really nice bounce off that fib. I mean, I did say it was pretty likely to bounce, but yeah, there's not. It's not really looking like there's any way I can enter a trade anytime soon. So I'll just keep hanging out and waiting on my phone. This is a baby bull pennant on NQ, like the smallest little bull pennant ever. Looks like ES flipped stronger though. It's looking like there is a possible way that I can enter longs. Uh, if ES has, wait, bullish consolidation, liquidity momentum strong going against supply. I can technically enter longs on this candle because NQ is technically baby bullish consolidation, and yeah, I can technically enter longs there. It would be this here. And it would be, oh boy. Yeah, not thinking it's super likely to play out, but that's technically. Let's see. I think this bullish consolidation's too minor on NQ because we have strong liquidity momentum and bullish consolidation going against supply. But this isn't really. This bullish consolidation's so minor though. It is so freaking minor. No, I'm not doing it. I sold it. it's too minor. With my luck, it'll end up playing out, but it's too minor of bullish consolidation here. I mean, it is I mean, on the 5 seconds, definitely bullish consolidation. But it's just too minor, man. If I lose on that trade, it's gonna piss me off because it's again a gray area trade. But here's the bullish consolidation here. Because I filled it, but then I closed it because it's not correct. I want to enter longs though, so naturally I'm inclined to do so. It's just not correct. Just comes down to I'm not willing to lose on that trade, but man, I really want to get in. I really want to get in. Well, all right, back to hanging out on my phone. Looks like it would have been pretty green though. So if you took that entry, you were up. It's just not flawless discipline, so cannot do it. It's a yellow line, that's a pivot. It's a major pivot. That's a damn good PT though. Look at the 23.6 pounds. Doesn't matter, that pivot stays on my chart because if I were to enter long, the reason I can't enter long here is because of continuation on a pivot keyword. So I'll get rid of it once we get adequately above it. And every trade that I want to do just ends up working, but I can't pull the trigger. This one had decent reason to, couldn't pull the trigger. This one I wanted to, but didn't have enough reason to, so I couldn't pull the trigger. It's unfortunate. Very unfortunate. With my luck, NQ is going to get to my big PTs right here. I'm not going to be able to get in. Yeah, I know swaggy, but I have the continuation on a pivot keyword, and how can I see if something's continuing on a major pivot if the pivot isn't on my chart? It's like NQ's flipping stronger. If NQ pulls back here and one is stronger, it'll be pattern, liquidity, momentum, strong going against supply, and then continuation on pivot. So a continuation on pivot needs to go away. This is also bullish consolidation here on the Nasdaq, but once again, I'm still continuing on the pivot. So I need ES to dip below it, come back up like that. That would be awesome. Don't think I'm gonna be that lucky though. And this is obviously a new pivot here and here. Sad that long was freaking beautiful, but I couldn't get into it. Like it's not a long that I'm willing to lose on. Did want to get in though. I mean, I did call the bounce of the 23.6. That's the beauty of having a more mechanical strategy is you just can't do half the things you want to do. But it did work out. How much would I be up on that? You see, my entry was here. Yeah, $300 a mini ish. Not going to be able to enter though, even if we do pull back and put in this inverse head and shoulders, because it is continuation on a pivot, unfortunately. Very unfortunate, because I really want to get in for my PT on NQ, but it's not looking like a very fortunate second and third hour of trading. Would have been great if my stop loss didn't perfectly sweep here. If this candle didn't get half as high, that would have been a flawless trade. I'm gonna continue hanging out on my phone. Maybe the third hour will be better. maybe we'll actually get triggered into something that isn't debatable. All right, so here's the deal. There's a possibility I take longs, and technically I can avoid this continuation on a pivot keyword. Um, but it's pretty gray area, and I don't really want to keep taking gray area trades. But NQ's pulling back. This is bullish for the inverse head and shoulders. If we can pull back a little bit more, I can actually go long on the pullback. Technically, ES will be below this pivot. It's not really liquidity sweep because this isn't really a pivot. This got a full candle above it. So technically, if we come down a bit more to like here, where a majority of this drop is still invalidated, I can actually take a long and dip by this right now. I can't do it right here because it's still continuation on a pivot, but if we were to come down more and come down to like here or yeah, ES came down to here, I can technically dip by it. And it'd still be inverse head and shoulders for a good keyword. Be liquidity momentum, and I would need one to be strong. And then obviously it would still be supply. It's pretty gray area though, and my luck has not been great with the perfect stop loss sweep here on a trade I didn't really want to enter, then went all the way to BT. A trade I did want to enter, but couldn't pull the trigger because it was too gray area and never taken a trade like that. That hit PT, I couldn't enter fast enough, so it missed my order. And this trade that I did enter, this long trade here, but I technically wasn't allowed to because this consolidation wasn't defined enough, that ended up working out as well. So it's been nothing but just the opposite of luck this session. And just take it to high day. No, I'm bullish for 25,940 on NQ. And my psych isn't going to be very good if we get to 25,940 on NQ and I'm not able to be in. NQ is indeed a lot stronger than ES. I'm kind of down to take the gamble, guys. If ES falls to like here, I can enter. And NQ would still be invalidating a majority of this drop. It's a very gray area trade still, though. Not as gray area as the other ones. But I just can't enter up here because of this ES pivot. I need ES to get down a little bit more. Anywhere right here. This is so freaking bullish, folks. I can probably swing this as bullish consolidation and pattern on ES, but that's keyword stacking is cheating. But oh my gosh, it's so bullish. I really want to get in, but if I lose, I'm gonna be pissed because I'm technically not supposed to be in. But it looks so freaking bullish right now on NQ. So incredibly bullish. ES did not get down far enough for me to pull the trigger on NQ. That is a very nice bull pennant though. Looks so freaking bullish. It'd be a miracle if ES came down again before getting hype day. ES looks so bullish and NQ is even more bullish because of its strength. Looks so good. Okay, well, ES is getting where I need it to. However, NQ isn't still strong, so I cannot enter. They're about even now. So, freaking wait continues. Yeah, the wait continues. Good thing I didn't enter when I wanted to, though. I mean, that's first good psychological reinforcement there. NQ is, they're even in strength. Not, not like I can enter. Oh, I'll continue hanging out on my phone. Still have another like 50 minutes left of this session, so hopefully I can get something. But if we come back up, it will be inverse head and shoulders. But this pivot's preventing me from entering long on NQ at the moment, so I gotta keep waiting. NQ's a little bit stronger on this candle, this very candle. You know, if NQ can get one more candle and invalidate this candle, and ES doesn't go anywhere, ES stays down here, then I can technically enter because it won't be continuation on the pivot because ES is still a decent distance below. Like this would be the candle I want to enter on, but strength is even. In fact, ES might be a little bit stronger because ES just invalidated that entire red candle. So I continue to wait. Yeah, ES is a little bit stronger now, huh? Yeah, I have strength. I have pattern, and I do not have trend anymore because I only count trend over the last hour. And the trend was almost an hour long, and this consolidation has been an hour and a half long, so or an hour and 20 minutes long, so but this is definitely very bullish. But we'll see. Maybe maybe I get lucky. You know, maybe we sweep high a day and then come down. I have to take a reversal trade that I wouldn't want to take, and that works. Or we dump to here, sweep it bullishly, and then I can definitely take a long trade when that happens. So there's some stuff that I can. There's some possibilities here that may form over the next 20, 30 minutes. Sonky, if Tommy says he's long, you're gonna have to close out, buddy. All right, I will keep hanging on my phone. Very tough to have perfect psych today though, because it's not been a fun time. Not been a fun time at all. My stop loss getting perfectly swept really killed it. Interesting. ES is now stronger, definitely stronger than NQ. If we come back up a little bit, I can technically swing the inverse head and shoulders still. It isn't fully still invalidated on NQ. Um, so if we come back up to like here, it's looking like I may be able to take it, but actually, yes, flipping weaker on this candle. It technically wouldn't be continuation on the pivot nor bearish liquidity sweep. Yeah, not really. Nah, but ES is weaker on this candle. It's not holding its strength. It was only for a second. Now we have to think the other way around. So we have liquidity, momentum, and supply going to the downside now. One is not weaker. They're about even. In fact, NQ is a tad stronger now. It's trying to be. And this isn't really bullish consolidation, but I can give it pattern as a bad keyword. If we can bearishly consolidate, like here, I could take a smaller trade to this low and potentially take a reversal trade after that. Because if I can get some kind of bearish consolidation, just redo this, of supply, liquidity, momentum. Well, I have supply and liquidity momentum now, going against potential pattern, right? I just need weak, actually. Problem is, one is not weak. One is not weak. Doesn't look like any of them are weak. They're like dead even. Now, if one can flip weak, I can take that trade. But they are still even, so I cannot enter, but I am leaning bearish to this though now. Possible for bull flag on EQ. It'll be more of a pennant rather than a flag. Yes, but it's not proportional anymore. You know, when you have bullish consolidation, such as a bull flag, bull pennant, descending broadening wedge, falling wedge, whatever it is, you want the time of the first leg to be around the same or longer than the time of the consolidation. And as far as the retracement's fine. It's just the time. So, but I'd still consider this bullish consolidation because this is from trending from overnight. Yeah, it is really just trending from overnight. But this run from market open was 50 minutes, 5-0. And this consolidation has been an hour and a half. It's 40 minutes longer. That's disproportionate. So right now I'd more so give it pattern. But even then, with pattern, it still doesn't really work. Yeah. Not looking like that's really the case anymore. It did not continue down. No short entry for me. Looks pretty bullish though. That's a nice reversal candle and a nice response to that reversal candle. If I were to give this bullish consolidation, I can't really give it trend as well. There's an argument I could give it bullish consolidation, even though it's not proportional. If I were to include, a lot of just the overall context, this is bullish consolidation. But even if I did do bullish consolidation, it'd be bullish consolidation. One would be strong, and then going against supply. I can't give it trend because the trend is the last hour, and it's been sideways for the last hour and a half. So I can't even like stretch it there. So even then, it's not looking like I'm going to be able to take longs. The only way I can foresee myself take the longs that I want to take is if we come down here, bearishly sweep this low, and then come back up. I can, though, take shorts. Don't really want to take, but then again, if one's weaker, it is a 3-to-1 trade with supply, liquidity, momentum, and weak going against bullish consolidation. I'd just be pretty much betting that this is a flag rather than a pennant. Yeah, I mean that would pretty much just be the trade. Does look like ES is starting to be weaker, so maybe it is a possibility. We'll see. Nah, ES isn't really weaker anymore. Still looking rather bullish at the moment. Looks pretty bullish to me. NQ's a little bit stronger than ES right now. Not by much though. If this consolidation didn't take so long, I'd be able to include trend. And it's here's the thing. I could do it. I could stretch and include trend. I did that for one trade semi recently and it did work. It wasn't as extreme as this case though, so it is gray area. I'm not sure. I could do it because I mean, if we look at the overall context, it is kind of trend and it is kind of, you know, a flawless bull pennant. So I'm kind of tempted to, I'm not going to lie. That's a tough decision, though. It's a very tough decision. The fact that it only pulled back to the 23.6, though, is impressive. It didn't even get to the 38.2, and it's past the 38.2 where I'd consider the bullish consolidation invalidated. So, yeah, I mean, it did hold the 23.6, and this is a freaking gorgeous bull pennant. The problem is, though, I don't have strength, so I think I'm willing to take longs, but I don't have one of them stronger, and that I need. I do need that third reason, so I can enter still. They're pretty much even in strength, yeah. But right here, yeah, I think I would be willing to enter longs if one were stronger and one is not. ES is a little bit, but not much. They're pretty even. It's a very nice looking bull pennant on NQ. Man, that's so nice looking. So nice looking. It's really hard for me to not be in right now. But now it's kind of continuation on a pivot. So I can't. Gotta have perfect discipline. I can't. I really want to though. Today's a freaking struggle. the second and third hour of trading. So much gray area with every single trade. Every single trade is a pain in the ass. No clear trades that just easily fit with my strategy. NQ strong looks like it's flipping strong now, but now we're continuing on this pivot on ES, so I will continue waiting. The minimum I can just review it later and figure out if I can, but this pivot right here on ES really screws me up. This pivot makes it a huge pain in the ass. So I'm gonna keep hanging out on my phone. It's a very bullish bull pennant break here. Never mind. It's not that bullish if it closes with the selling wick, but that is a break to the upside. Let's see if NQ gets to my PT without me. Yeah, it's looking like that's what wants to happen. However, we do get a red candle after this. I actually have to take a reversal trade. Because that would be a bearish liquidity sweep. That is a volume spike on ES, and we are in supply. But I would take it on NQ because NQ is weaker rather than take ES because of the volume spike. So let's see what this candle does. And I would love to give this miss pivot here, but this isn't a big enough pivot for that. So. And would this even really be against the trend? Yeah, I guess so. That doesn't look like that's going to happen, though. Very nice break to the upside on ES. I really wanted to get in, but today's a very hard day to have perfect discipline with because everything I didn't do but really wanted to do worked out. So it's unfortunate. Looks like it's gonna get to my grand PT without me. So unfortunate. Very, very hard day to have perfect psych, but what are you gonna do? I'll keep hanging out. Maybe I get lucky and ES bullishly consolidates or something, but it's not looking like that's gonna be the case. Yeah, that is a bull pennant right here. I mean, little baby bullish consolidation on NQ looks great. Looks really bullish. Nice job, Lisa. See you later. No, Pop, I haven't. I really wanted to, but I just couldn't get formally clearly triggered into anything. So yeah, it's been pretty difficult to stay perfectly disciplined, but yeah, still sitting here waiting. Well, it missed the pivot. If I were entering long, if I did enter long, this would definitely be my PT. Not really seeing a way I can go long. All I'm seeing is potential short. If we invalidate a majority of this move. Not really looking like it's going to happen though. Today definitely, I feel like today could have been green, but nothing but like super gray area trades. The one trade I did take perfectly swept stop loss and came all the way down to PT. You know, entry here, stop loss here, and my PT was right here. Like, it's so freaking unfortunate. Um, yeah, it's a very tough day as far as that's concerned. Um, if NQ stays weaker, uh, yeah, no, I can't really. I don't really think I can take this trade either. Let me see. I can if I only go the 1.1 risk to award because the head and shoulders is too likely to take me out otherwise. But if my stop loss is all the way up here and it does come down, it's not as if the head and shoulders is going to play out. If it gets all the way up to here, it's probably not head and shoulders. So it's kind of what I'm thinking at the moment. But what I'm more so thinking is it's just going to get to my big PT without me. Kind of worst case scenario today as far as the future strategy. But at least I made a bunch of money on options. Can I be profitable only using indicators? Not really. Whoever said that on YouTube. I'm just now seeing that, but no, not really. NQ looks great to get to my big PT. Looks like it's going to try for it. It's kind of a little broadening top, which is a reversal pattern, but I don't really believe in those patterns. So I'll hang out and see if it gets there. Pretty lame day though. Only one trade and it perfectly swept my stop and got to PT. But I feel like there's better I could have done, but just so gray area as far as my mechanical bias builder's so gray area with every single potential trade. But the TA was pretty damn good today for the most part. Looks like he has actually flipped weaker here. This has turned into bullish consolidation, but guess what? I still can't enter because we have another freaking continuation on a pivot. These continuation on pivot keywords have been a blue ball this entire session. It's been the only reason I could not be in longs at all today is because of the continuation on a pivot. So, but NQ stronger than ES now, and it has bullish consolidation, and it is in an uptrend. So that's 3 right there. And the 2 going against it are supply and continuation on pivot. So no dice for me still. I'll wait the final 5 minutes of this session, but really this was the most boring future session I've had in a couple weeks, honestly. But every time I do the free live trading, it futures second and third hour are just freaking terrible. So, I mean, if the rest of this week is bad, then maybe just for the free trading, I'll just do the options trading. I think that may be the move right there. I'll hang out for the next 5 minutes to see if this happens to get to my final PT. See if this bull pennant on NQ breaks to the upside. This is also bull flag on ES, so it looks bullish. Let's see if it happens. All right, well, it looks like I'm not going to stick around for this potential NQ getting the pivot. I hope it does, because I know a lot of you guys are long. Didn't really do anything. I took one single trade and the stop loss perfectly swept. The other few trades I called out that I wanted to enter did end up being green, which was not very good for my psych at all, and it's probably going to get to my P2 without me. But didn't give in, didn't really break any rules, and really all I'm going to do is review and see what could have been different. I don't think this trade should have been entered at all. I don't really think any of the other trades could have been entered either, though. So the optimal difference between what happened today and what actually happened won't actually be very big. So I will see you guys later. Fantastic first hour, though. And looks like NQ is going to get to my big PT of 25,940. So regardless, I'll be back to review later. And good luck if you continue trading. Looks like it's going there now.